The current state of graphics cards right now is a bit of a strange one, and I felt like I had to say something about it. This is just my thoughts and opinions, no performance or benchmarks, so if you're happy to listen to my voice for the next 7 or 8 minutes, then please hear me out. So the RTX 2080 and 2080 Ti have been out in the news for a couple of weeks now, and a lot of people are kind of angry about the pricing of the new cards and the performance they have to offer. But plenty of people are rushing out to pick up Pascal cards like the 1070, 1080 Ti, 1070 Ti, and so on. People running older 700 or even 900 series cards are getting a nice upgrade when moving to Pascal for a lot less money than say a few months ago. People are upgrading from 1070s to 1080 Ti's and avoiding the expensive RTX cards. But is this all part of Nvidia's plan? We all know these RTX cards are getting more expensive to manufacture. We all know that the RTX series are much more than just their hardware, especially with that ray tracing and the DLSS. There's a massive amount of money spent on software and AI as well now, and Nvidia need to recoup that somehow. But it's just so hard to justify spending £1,200 on a GPU. The first time I bought what I thought was an expensive GPU was about 3 years ago when I bought a GTX 970 for £250. And then when Nvidia released the GTX 1080 and 1070 over 2 years ago, the 900 series card prices were quickly reduced and quickly sold and moved on. Once existing stock was sold, that was it. They were gone and the new boys were in town. This time round though, Nvidia has changed their mind and they're keeping their Pascal cards up for sale and are continuing to supply stock for suppliers. We are seeing some discounts, but nowhere near what we saw with Maxwell. In the UK, 980 Ti's were on sale for around £360. They performed similar to a 1070, so I bought one. 1070s were going for around £400 to £450, depending on which OEM you got. And I got similar performance and saved around £70 compared to a similar Asus Strix 1070 model. I felt like a king, and people are doing the same this time around. Around June time, 300,000 GPUs were returned from an OEM partner back to Nvidia due to massive overstocking and the fallout of the mining craze. People were just assuming this would mean disaster for Nvidia and result in huge delays on the new Turing GPUs. But Nvidia have clearly got a cunning plan in place. In May, before this return, the headlining quarterly revenue figure was $3.2 billion, up 66% over the previous year and surpassing analysts' forecasts. I honestly expect it to rise again, because at the end of the day, what's everyone doing by not buying those RTX cards? Buying older Nvidia GTX cards. Nvidia are still making money. They've priced these RTX cards in accordance with existing GPUs and the pricing of them just so they can continue to make money. The 2080 costs around £200 more than a 1080 Ti, performs a little bit better. The 2080 Ti performs a little bit better than the 2080, so therefore costs more too. I'm only assuming, based on what we've seen from the 2080 and the 2080 Ti, is that the upcoming 2070 will perform a bit better than the 1080 and probably cost around £100 more than the 1080 as well. Pascal prices are likely to continue to drop, so as a result, I imagine once the stock of Pascal GPUs dry up, we'll be looking at, fingers crossed, cheaper Turing GPUs, or another alternative would be that with future driver updates, these Turing GPUs kind of get unlocked and we may gain even more performance to justify their extortionate prices. I'll give you a quick rundown of the pricing of current 10 series GPUs on Overclockers, a UK website. And from that you can see how much more affordable these Pascal cards have got. Also the fact that you can pick up a 1070 Ti for the same price as a regular 1070 is bemusing at least. On another positive note, Vega 56 and 64 prices are also falling too as a result of these new Turing cards, as well as offering 3 extra games with these GPUs too. It's up to you to decide whether that's worth it in the long run though. Maybe AMD's next lineup of graphics cards can offer better competition next time around. Just like their CPUs have done with Intel, a new AMD GPU doesn't have to be the most powerful card of all time. It just has to be powerful and competitively priced. If it can match the 2080 or 2080 Ti for a lot less money, they'd be able to whip up a storm of sales and they're just going to keep this game going. In other news though, AMD are gearing up to launch another refresh of their Polaris GPU, and RX 670 is imminent. if not already announced by the time you see this video. And the RX 680 is due around November time. When it comes to mid-range GPUs and pricing, things are just going to get better and better. If you've got around 200 to 300 pounds, or maybe 300 to 400 pounds to spend on a GPU, you're gonna have so many options. That's before you even consider the used second-hand market. So before I sign off, I'll say this one last time. If you think you're boycotting Nvidia and their stupid RTX cards, just remember, if you're buying 1080s and 1080 Ti's, they're still making money. If you have the money for an RTX card and you want the best of the best, and you trust Nvidia to come good on their promise with DLSS and ray tracing, go ahead and take the plunge. I personally just find it hard to justify and would recommend Pascal to anybody right now building a gaming PC. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. It's just a talking head video today, but I wanted to voice my kind of thoughts and opinions. So if you like this kind of video, feel free to click that like button. If you didn't, that's understandable. Click that dislike button. Leave your comments down below, let me know what you think about this whole situation. And as always, if my face hasn't offended you, don't forget to click that subscribe button so we can see each other again soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.